No one has told you this yet, but you're sabotaging your own happiness. How? Stick around, because today we're uncovering the 10 things you need to eliminate from your life right now to live with the serenity and wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. Hey there. Have you ever felt like you're carrying a backpack full of unnecessary weight through life? You know you want to be happy, but there's always something in the way, like an invisible barrier you just can't seem to get past. What if I told you that those obstacles might be coming from within? Yep, that's right. Today, we're diving deep into the 10 things you need to eliminate from your life immediately if you want to experience true peace of mind, inspired by the timeless wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. So grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's get into it. 1. Stop searching for happiness in others. All right, first things first, happiness doesn't come from outside sources. I can't stress this enough. How many times have you heard people say, I'll be happy when I find the right partner, or I'll be happy when I get that job, that car, that house? But guess what? None of those things will bring you lasting happiness. Sure, they might give you a temporary boost, but the truth is, happiness is an inside job. Marcus Aurelius, the wise philosopher emperor, believed that everything you need to be happy is already within you. It's not about what happens to you, it's about how you respond to it. If you keep searching for happiness in others or in material things, you'll always feel like something's missing. So, stop waiting for someone else to make you happy and start cultivating your own happiness from within. Think about it. When you place your happiness in the hands of others, you give away your power. You become dependent on external factors, which are often beyond your control. But when you take responsibility for your own happiness, you reclaim that power. You become the master of your own life, and that's incredibly liberating. So ask yourself, what can you do today to create your own happiness, regardless of what's happening around you? It could be something as simple as practicing gratitude, meditating, or spending time doing something you love. The point is to stop looking outward and start looking inward. 2. Eliminate self-loathing. Now, I know this one might hit close to home for some of you, but it's so important. How often do you catch yourself thinking, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve happiness, or I'll never be successful? These thoughts are like poison, slowly eroding your self-esteem and holding you back from living your best life. If you don't love and respect yourself, how can you expect others to do so? You need to eliminate this toxic self-loathing from your life if you want to move forward. Marcus Aurelius was all about self-discipline and self-respect. He knew that to lead others, he first had to lead himself. And that starts with loving who you are, flaws and all. But loving yourself doesn't mean being arrogant or narcissistic. It means recognizing your worth, treating yourself with kindness, and striving to become the best version of yourself. It's about accepting your imperfections and understanding that they don't define you. We all have room to grow, but that growth starts with a foundation of self-love. So, how do you start eliminating self-loathing? Begin by challenging those negative thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking, I'm not good enough, ask yourself, says who, where did that belief come from? And is it really true? Often we carry around limiting beliefs that were instilled in us by others, parents, teachers, society, but that doesn't mean they're accurate. Start replacing those negative thoughts with positive affirmations. Remind yourself daily that you are enough, just as you are, and that you are worthy of love and respect. Over time, this practice can shift your mindset and help you develop a healthier, more positive self-image. 3. Say goodbye to the fear of commitment. Next up, let's talk about commitment. How many of you feel a pang of anxiety at the mere thought of committing to something or someone long-term? You're not alone. The fear of commitment is incredibly common, but it's also incredibly limiting. We fear commitment because we worry about losing our freedom, making the wrong choice, or missing out on other opportunities. But here's the thing, not committing is a choice too, and it often leads to a life of indecision and regret. Marcus Aurelius taught that fear is a product of our own minds. It's an illusion, a barrier we create for ourselves. When you fear commitment, you're not really afraid of the commitment itself. You're afraid of the unknown, of what might happen if you take that leap. But life is full of uncertainties, and the only way to move forward is to embrace them. Don't let fear dictate your decisions. Instead, recognize it for what it is, a natural response to uncertainty, and move forward anyway. Think about this. When you avoid commitment, you're actually committing to a life of hesitation and missed opportunities. You're choosing to stay in a place of what if rather than embracing the potential for growth and fulfillment that comes with commitment. Whether it's committing to a relationship, a career path, or even a personal goal, the act of committing gives you direction and purpose. It's a declaration to yourself and the world that you're ready to invest in something meaningful. So the next time you feel that familiar pang of fear, remember Marcus Aurelius' words and choose to act in spite of it. You might just find that commitment is the key to unlocking a richer, more fulfilling life. 4. Stop being inauthentic. Let's get real for a moment. How many of us put on a mask every day just to fit in? We pretend to be someone we're not because we think it will make us more likable, more successful, or more accepted. But living inauthentically is exhausting, and it prevents you from connecting with others on a deeper level. Marcus Aurelius believed that authenticity is essential for inner peace. If you're constantly trying to be someone you're not, you're never going to find true happiness. Being authentic means being true to yourself, your values, your beliefs, your passions. It means living in alignment with who you really are, not who you think you should be. When you're authentic, you attract the right people and opportunities into your life. You don't have to pretend or put on a facade because you're comfortable in your own skin, and that's incredibly powerful. But let's be honest, being authentic isn't always easy. It can be scary to show your true self, especially if you've spent years hiding behind a mask. You might worry that people won't like the real you, or that you'll be judged or rejected. But here's the thing, the people who matter will love you for who you are, not for who you pretend to be. And those who don't, well, they were never meant to be in your life anyway. So how do you start living more authentically? Begin by getting to know yourself better. Spend time reflecting on your values, your goals, and what truly matters to you. Ask yourself, am I living a life that's true to who I am? Or am I living according to others' expectations? If it's the latter, it's time to make some changes. Start small. Maybe it's expressing your true opinions more often, or pursuing a passion you've been putting off. Over time, as you embrace your authentic self, you'll find that life becomes richer and more fulfilling. 5. Eliminate the habit of criticizing others. Now, let's tackle a big one, criticism. We've all been guilty of it, pointing out someone else's flaws, judging their choices, or gossiping behind their back. But here's the truth. When you criticize others, you're really revealing more about yourself than about them. Criticism often stems from our own insecurities and frustrations. It's a way to deflect attention from our own shortcomings and to feel superior, even if just for a moment. Marcus Aurelius was a master of self-control and compassion. He understood that criticizing others only serves to harm both parties. When you focus on others' faults, you neglect your own growth. Instead of criticizing, Marcus would encourage us to practice empathy and understanding. Everyone is fighting their own battles, and often, the things we criticize in others are reflections of our own unresolved issues. Think about it. How do you feel after you've criticized someone? Maybe there's a fleeting sense of satisfaction, but does it really make you feel better in the long run? Probably not. Criticism creates negativity. It breeds resentment, both in you and in the person you're criticizing. Instead of lifting you up, it drags you down. So why do we do it? Because it's easier to point out someone else's flaws than to confront our own. But here's a challenge for you. The next time you feel the urge to criticize someone, pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? What's really going on here? Often, you'll find that the issue isn't with the other person at all. It's with something unresolved within you. Maybe you're feeling insecure, jealous, or frustrated with your own situation. Whatever it is, use that moment as an opportunity for self-reflection instead of criticism. Over time, this practice can help you develop more compassion, both for yourself and for others. 6. Stop avoiding commitments. We've already talked about the fear of commitment, but it's worth diving a bit deeper into the idea of commitment itself. In today's world, we're often encouraged to keep our options open, to stay flexible, and to avoid being tied down. But here's the thing, commitment isn't a trap, it's a choice. It's a way to focus your energy and efforts on something meaningful, rather than scattering them in a million different directions. When you avoid commitments, you're essentially drifting through life without a clear direction. Sure, it might feel freeing in the short term, but in the long run, it leads to a sense of aimlessness and dissatisfaction. Marcus Aurelius understood that a life without purpose is a life unfulfilled. Commitment gives you purpose. It gives you something to work toward, something to invest in, and something to be proud of. But commitment doesn't have to mean giving up your freedom. In fact, the right commitments can enhance your freedom by providing structure and stability. Think about it. When you commit to a relationship, a career, or even a personal goal, you're making a conscious choice to invest your time and energy into something that matters to you. And that's incredibly empowering. So, what's stopping you from committing? Is it fear of failure? Fear of making the wrong choice? Or maybe it's just the idea of being stuck in one place. Whatever it is, recognize that these fears are holding you back from living a more purposeful and fulfilling life. The key is to commit to things that align with your values and passions. When you do that, commitment becomes less of a burden and more of a joy. 7. Eliminate the idea that loneliness is bad. Let's shift gears and talk about loneliness. In a world that's more connected than ever, it's ironic that so many people feel lonely. But here's a radical thought. Loneliness isn't necessarily a bad thing. In fact, it can be one of the most powerful tools for self-discovery and personal growth. Marcus Aurelius spent a lot of time alone, reflecting and meditating. He knew that solitude was a space where he could connect with his inner self and gain clarity. Loneliness gets a bad rap because we often associate it with feelings of emptiness, isolation, and sadness. But solitude, when embraced, can be incredibly enriching. It's in those quiet moments alone that you have the opportunity to truly listen to yourself, to understand your thoughts and feelings, and to discover who you really are. In solitude, you can find strength, clarity, and peace. So, how do you transform loneliness into a positive experience? Start by shifting your perspective. Instead of viewing loneliness as something to be avoided, See it as an opportunity to connect with yourself on a deeper level. Use your alone time to reflect, meditate, and explore your passions. Write in a journal, go for a walk in nature, or simply sit in silence and listen to your thoughts. Over time, you'll find that solitude becomes a sanctuary, a place where you can recharge and reconnect with your true self. But here's the thing. Solitude doesn't mean cutting yourself off from the world. It's about finding a balance between time spent with others and time spent alone. When you learn to enjoy your own company, you become less dependent on others for validation and fulfillment. And that's incredibly empowering. You start to realize that you are enough, just as you are, and that your worth isn't determined by the opinions or presence of others. So embrace solitude and watch how it transforms your life. 8. Stop searching outside for what you already have inside. Here's a truth bomb. Everything you need, you already have. I know that sounds like a cheesy self-help slogan, but bear with me. We live in a world that constantly tells us we're not enough as we are, that we need to buy more, do more, and be more to be happy. But Marcus Aurelius believed that true contentment comes from within. When you're always searching outside yourself for happiness, success, or fulfillment, you're missing out on the incredible resources you already possess. Think about it. How often do you find yourself thinking, if only I had this, then I'd be happy. Or, once I achieve that, then I'll feel successful. But here's the thing, those external things are temporary. They might bring you some joy or satisfaction in the moment, but that feeling won't last. It's like chasing after the wind, you'll never quite catch it. Instead, Marcus would encourage us to turn inward and recognize that we already have everything we need to live a fulfilling life. So, what does that look like in practice? It starts with gratitude. Take a moment each day to reflect on what you're grateful for. It could be something as simple as the air you breathe, the food you eat, or the people in your life. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant. And that's a powerful change in perspective. Next, focus on developing inner qualities like resilience, patience, and self-discipline. These are the things that will sustain you through life's ups and downs, not the external stuff. When you cultivate these qualities, you become less reliant on external factors for your happiness and more grounded in your own inner strength. And finally, stop comparing yourself to others. Your journey is unique, and so are you. When you constantly compare yourself to others, you're setting yourself up for dissatisfaction. Remember, the grass isn't greener on the other side, it's greener where you water it. So start watering your own grass and watch how it flourishes. 9. Eliminate constant indecision. All right, let's talk about indecision. How many times have you found yourself stuck in a loop of should I do this or that? What if I make the wrong choice? Indecision is paralyzing, and it keeps you from moving forward in life. Marcus Aurelius believed that action is the key to progress. He understood that making a decision, even if it's not the perfect one, is better than being stuck in a state of indecision. Here's the thing, there's no such thing as a perfect decision. Every choice you make will have its pros and cons, and there's always the possibility that things won't go as planned. But that's okay. The important thing is to make a decision and take action. Even if it doesn't work out, you'll have gained valuable experience and learned something new. And that's how you grow. So how do you overcome indecision? Start by getting clear on your values and priorities. When you know what matters most to you, it becomes easier to make decisions that align with those values. Next, trust your intuition. Your gut feelings are often more accurate than you think, so don't be afraid to listen to them. And finally, give yourself permission to make mistakes. No one is perfect, and every decision comes with some level of risk. But that's what makes life exciting. 10. Stop thinking you need someone else to be complete. Finally, let's tackle a big myth. The idea that you need someone else to be complete. This is one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves, that we're somehow incomplete on our own, and that we need another person to complete us. But Marcus Aurelius understood that true peace and happiness come from within, not from someone else. You are already whole, just as you are. When you believe that you need someone else to be complete, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. No one else can fill the gaps in your life. That's your job. Instead of looking for someone to complete you, focus on becoming the best version of yourself. When you do that, you'll attract the right people into your life, not out of need, but out of a shared sense of wholeness. So how do you start embracing your own completeness? Start by spending time alone and getting to know yourself. What are your passions, your dreams, your values? What makes you happy? And what brings you peace? The more you know and love yourself, the less you'll feel the need to seek validation from others. And when you do enter into relationships, they'll be healthier and more fulfilling, because they'll be based on mutual respect and love, not on a need to fill a void. And there you have it. The 10 things you need to eliminate from your life to achieve the stoic serenity of Marcus Aurelius. Tell me in the comments which of these things you think is the hardest to eliminate. Have you already started working on any of them? And if this video helped you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs to hear this. See you in the next video with more stoic lessons to apply to daily life.